Everyone is talking about AI for developers, but most people are using it completely wrong. So in this video, I'll show you how I actually use it, specifically ChatGPT, in real projects.
In this video, I'm not going to show you random AI tools. I'll show you how I actually use ChatGPT in real development work, from debugging to writing code to understanding complex projects. No hype, no theory, just real workflow. This is exactly how I use it in my daily work. Let's start with the one most people think they understand, ChatGPT. Most developers are using ChatGPT completely wrong. They treat it like Google. Ask a question, get an answer, move on.
But the real power? ChatGPT is not a search engine. It's a senior developer sitting next to you. Let me show you how I actually use it in real work. When I get an error, I don't just search for it. I paste the code and say, act as a senior WordPress developer. Find the root cause, not just the fix.
And instead of guessing, it explains exactly what went wrong and why.
So look, it immediately finds the problem. Right here, I'm treating the result like an object, but it's actually an array. So even though the query returns one row, WordPress still wraps it inside an array. That's why this line breaks. I should be using index 0 first, then access the value. And here's the fix, simple and clean. But this is even better, using getVar, since I only need one value anyway. And this is the important part. The query itself isn't accurate. It's counting all orders, even failed or canceled ones. So it fixes that too, by filtering real WooCommerce orders. This is why this is powerful. It's not just fixing the bug, it's fixing how you think about the problem. Now here's where things get really interesting. Let's say I need to build something, like a custom WordPress plugin. Normally, I'd start from scratch, create files, set up hooks, write boilerplate. That alone takes time.
But instead, I just describe what I want. Create a lightweight WordPress plugin that adds a custom admin dashboard widget showing WooCommerce daily sales. And within seconds, I get the full structure: plugin file, hooks, function, everything. But it's 70 to 80% done, which means I skip the boring part and focus on the real logic. And this changes how you work. You're no longer starting from zero, you're starting from a working base. Need to tweak something? Add features? Optimize it? Just ask again. That's the real advantage. Speed without sacrificing control. You're still the developer. AI just removes the slow parts. Now this is where it becomes really powerful. Not writing new code, but understanding existing code. Because every developer has faced this. You open a project and you have no idea what's going on. Old plugin, someone else's code, or even your own code after a few months. Normally, this takes hours to figure out. But here's what I do instead. I take the important part of the code and I drop it into ChatGPT. And I say, explain this code step by step, like I didn't write it. Now look at this. It breaks everything down, explains what each part does, how the query works, and how the data flows through the code. So instead of guessing, I actually understand what's happening. But here's the part most people miss. Don't stop at explanation. I ask it, can you refactor this to be cleaner and more efficient? Now this is where it gets really interesting. It rewrites the code, improves structure, and makes it easier to maintain. Something that would normally take serious time now takes a few seconds. You're not just understanding code anymore, you're upgrading it. And when you start using AI like this, that's when your workflow completely changes.
You might notice I didn't include a lot of other AI tools. That's intentional. I only talk about tools I actually use in real projects, because at the end of the day, it's not about how many tools you know, it's about how you use them in your workflow.
So yeah, AI is not replacing developers, but it's definitely changing how we work. If you know how to use it, you'll move faster, build better, and spend less time stuck. And if you don't, you'll feel the difference very quickly.
One tool used properly is better than 10 tools you barely use. If there's a tool you actually use, tell me in the comments.
I'll be sharing more real workflows like this, so if you're a developer, subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.